20 miles an hour. Then he died at 56.
Oh my word.
Anytime with hard acceleration, the car just brakes. See, from 20 miles an hour. Then he died at 56.
Oh my word.
Anytime with hard acceleration, the car just brakes.
What's going on, guys? This is Brandon. So continuing our little series here of what it's like to own a C8 Z06 since General Motors did not equip it with 2-in-tank fuel pumps. Some of the cars just have little electronic gremlins, which his does. It's been like that since he had 2,000 miles. And let's see who's calling me right now. It's actually him. Give me a second here. Let me pick up and see what he says. I'm going to tell him right out of the gate. Hey, so listen, I'm actually filming your video right now. I've already started the video. This is a video that I was going to put up on YouTube. So if you don't say your name, this is actually perfect time, and you can say whatever you want to say, or you could say, oh, you know, I don't want this to go up on YouTube and I'll start over. But this is an opportunity if you wanted to, you know, explain some things. But I was just explaining real quick. I showed the video a couple times and I explained this is what it's like to own a C8 Z06 when GM did not equip it with 2-in-tank fuel pumps, because when there's electronic glitches, the single low-side fuel pump can't provide enough fuel pressure because the low-side fuel pump in the tank is voltage driven. And so when there's a voltage glitch in the car, when the modules have any kind of glitch, the low-side pump then has a hesitation of pressure, which affects the high-side pump's ultimate pressure. The feed pressure from the low-side pump up to the high-side pumps ends up changing the high-side pump's pressure by 1,000 psi in some cases. So it cloaks itself. And General Motors has these codes where they erase themselves very quickly. So I found them by pure happenstance, ironically, because General Motors ordered me to take my car into a Chevrolet store to try to prove that my car was fine so that they wouldn't have to buy it back. And when I took the car into the Chevrolet store, there were these hidden codes that I didn't even know were there. And then when I took the car in and out of the shop a couple times, we realized the codes quickly clear themselves, and they also quickly come back and then clear themselves again. So GM has disabled these codes from even throwing a check engine light, and they've made them where they disable very, very quickly. So when you end up pulling the car into a dealership, there's a good odds that they've been erased already. They're not even in the memory. So anyway, yeah, so go ahead.
From my experience of owning this C8 Z06, bought a brand new 2023 from Jones Floor. The car has given me a crazy amount of issues, from lift system to control exhaust valve to engine module to, as you can see, as you stated, the low-sided fuel pump. It's been a nightmare. There are a lot of people who praise this car. Don't get me wrong, it's an amazing vehicle when it works, but when it doesn't work, it's just a pain in the ass and takes up a lot of time. I 100% agree that this is kind of hidden from the public. They don't want to see that their prize car has a lot of issues and it's not being resolved in a sense, and it just kind of trickles down to the little people who are just, you know, dealing with it in a sense.
And so somebody, it may have been you, it may not have been you, somebody was telling me just recently, I talk to a lot of people each day, that they have indeed spun their car. They don't know if it was one of these glitches or if it was, you know, a handling issue. But my experience is these cars are extremely hard to spin when everything's working properly. Even in race 2 ESC off, these cars are very hard to spin. You know, I've taken them out to like a roundabout circle that's real tight and intentionally drifted it with race 2 ESC off. And only, you know, when I really laid the thing out sideways going at real low speeds did I finally get it to kind of come around on me. And, you know, it wasn't, you know, dramatic, but just out of curiosity, how many miles do you have now?
I have 30,000 miles in the car. About 20,000 miles are canyon driven. I live in California. It's my weekend, it's basically an everyday pleasure for me because the weather's perfect. I've taken that car out. I've experienced some fun times in that car. I've had it to where the car has gotten sideways and some things may have happened with it. like I said, I live in the canyons with that car, and I've experienced tons of things. And I believe you said this before in the video, where if you're pulling a certain amount of G's, things kind of get a little wonky. So I think I could have possibly experienced it. I just know the car got sideways on me, and it did lose it in a turn, going at a speed. So
Well, let me ask you a question. What PTM mode were you in, and was traction control on or off?
traction control, I believe, was off. Race 1 is race 1. I can't, if I recall, is race 1 traction control off?
Well, so on my car, I have the Z button programmed that it takes you straight to race 2, and then it says, do you want to shut off ESC, push Z button again, and if I push it again, then it shuts ESC off.
Yep.
Now, you might have been in race 1 with your Z button, and because it's however you program your Z button, and then you press it again to get to ESC off. If you were to shut it off, you had to press it twice. Is that where you were?
Correct, yes, sir. That's why I usually run the car, because I love to do launch control of that thing and have a bunch of fun. So
Okay. So to General Motors' defense, in race 1, ESC off, below 70 miles per hour, the car will spin. Okay, that's not an unheard of thing for that to happen. It will spin. But above 80 or so, as I've explained in many episodes, the EDIF now takes over as the ESC, which a lot of people don't realize and can't wrap their minds around. But I'm not saying that about you. I'm just saying about a lot of these GM puppet people like to argue with me, and they don't understand that you can't get the car sideways above 80, 90 miles per hour. And if you do, I'll go out on a limb and say you either hit a curb or the car glitched on its own. But on flat, even on tilted pavement, any kind of pavement, as long as there's no kind of crazy obstructions to confuse the car, it's my experience that it is literally impossible to get the damn thing to drift above 80, 90 miles per hour. It won't do it. So, but
it's a wonderful product. Like I said, when it works, it's just when you have issue after issue and problem after problem, it just a pain in the ass.
And then
nightmare.
What's interesting about your story, if I'm not mistaken, is you said that GM had done the same thing to you, where they said, "Oh yeah, we'll buy it back," and then you said, "Okay, let's go. Let's do it," and they never did it for at least 30 days, which is just unprofessional to not communicate for at least 30 days. And in my case, I gave them like a whole year to come back to me. I tried reaching out to them like several different occasions, and I'm like, whatever, if these guys want to do this, it's going to be egg on their face. And you don't have to discuss this, but I've heard from other people that in these kind of situations, their lawyers say, since General Motors never moved forward, they never gave you a sincere offer, and therefore it's potentially triple damages on the full amount. And if you're in the state of California, I've been through this enough with enough people that I know California is a huge triple damage state. If you don't have to say whether you're litigating against General Motors, even though you haven't said your name, so it's anonymous, but you don't have to say whether you've litigated against General Motors. But what you could do is mention whether or not any counsel has advised you what your odds are of getting triple damages and what that amount might be.
Oh, I can say anything, and be honest with you. I can be straightforward. I can say it, yeah. I'm doing what I need to do against General Motors. It is a triple, it's like you said before, California is very pro-lemon law, and they are going for those triple digits, of course. I bought the car. I can tell you the numbers. I don't mind at all. I bought the car for $136, MSRP, markup $38,000. They're aiming for the highest max they can go. From what I told, they're trying to even add other civil penalties on top of it, because they feel like General Motors didn't adhere to anything. They kind of, like you said, they let it go by the wayside for 30 days. So I took it upon myself to go seek assistance in this matter, because I'm not going to pay for a vehicle that ends up in the shop every other week for more than 30 days. I've had that car since 2023, brand new, June, and it's probably been in the dealership's hands half the time of its life that it's been out. So, of course, I decided to go take the legal route, being honest, and it's going down a path of where now we're coming to a hopefully end in May, but according to what I'm being told, General Motors does not want to agree on a number, so they're kind of going back and forth on a number.
Yeah, and I've had other people tell me as well in their situations that GM likes to prolong the court date. They keep getting extensions and bumping things back. So
I've been extended 3 times already. My first initial court date was last year. Well, my first, I can say. I mean, the case isn't even in my name, to be honest with you, so I can say whatever I want. I had the case was supposed to actually be extended. It's been extended 3 times. Like our original court date was last year, August, then it got extended to March of this year, then it got extended to June. Now we're headed for May of next year. So everything, to me, if everything doesn't settle by May of next year, I'm just gonna call it at that, whatever it is. I'm not gonna keep going and playing this circle game that they like to play.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So at least they've made you an offer, and you don't need to say what that offer is, but at least they made you an offer. So far they have not made me an offer. They haven't made any of my payments. They're just, and the thing is, they want to make it out that I'm the bad guy when there's many of you out there who've reached out to me, and a lot of those people are either in litigation, so their lawyers have told them don't talk, or they have already settled and therefore they're no longer allowed to talk. But I get phone calls constantly about this, and a lot of people thanking me, and my 1,100 or however many subscribers I have, they're not just here for the kicks. They're here because there's something going on, and I get comment after comment of people saying I'm in the same boat, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. And I say, well, I'm not going to necessarily repeat your stuff on the channel or whatever, but if you want me to, I will. But if not, no worries. So, we'll talk about this even further here. I'm going to go ahead and end my video because I'm going to talk to this gentleman some more here, and but you guys can hear this is real stuff. And this guy found me on YouTube and so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. So give me 1 second.